All right, today I have one of my favorite guests on, Brigitte Gabriel, to help me go through Trump, the new Trump administration, how the deep state might try to derail him. Brigitte, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me with you. Always a delight.
So, just some background. Brigitte is a political, cultural, and national security commentator. She survived war in the Middle East by living in an 8 by 10 bomb shelter. She's regularly asked to speak on top stories affecting America. She's the head of Act for America, and I feel lucky to have you on again today.
Thank you.
Since you and I last spoke, President Trump, there was assassination attempts on his life. He became a garbage man for a day, a McDonald's fry man for a day. I mean, this guy can do anything and then becomes president of the United States. What was your first reaction to him winning?
And that's exactly why he became president, Stephen, because he relates to the people and the people relate to him. He is one of the people who is willing, who doesn't think it's beneath him, to stand at a McDonald's window and hand out fries, to sit in a garbage truck. That garbage truck, I have to tell you, that whole stick with the garbage truck that same day, my mouth dropped when I saw that. But that's exactly why people love him. He is real. He is not a politician. He says, look, they're going to make fun of you. I am one of you. If they think sitting in a garbage truck is funny, look, we all have done jobs. We all have done jobs we did not like. We all earned the living as long as we earn it with respect, as long as we earn it with dignity, as long as we earn it ethically. There is no shame whether you are a garbage truck driver or whatever. The fact that Democrats look down on the American people, they look down on the American people. And President Trump said, I'm going to stand for you. I'm going to stand with you. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to be your voice against the big machine in Washington, D.C. that is working against you. Because we have become a society of elites and the rest of the people are down here. The elites get away with anything they want to get away with. And the people feel hopeless. Their voice is not heard. The media doesn't listen to us. The Democratic Party obviously did not listen to their own base who were struggling to buy eggs at the grocery store. And the Democratic Party will tell them there is nothing wrong with the economy. That's why President Trump got elected. And also, Stephen, people were concerned about what's happening. The whole world is falling apart. War in Ukraine, war in Gaza, war in Lebanon, war in Syria. Taiwan is on the brink with China maybe attacking Taiwan. All our enemies and the bad actors in the world were being emboldened by the vacuum created in the United States, by the lack of leadership on the Democratic side. Everybody knew that Joe Biden was senile. Everybody knew that he was not running the country. God knows who was running the country. And even the rest of the world rejoiced when Donald Trump got elected. So here's my take on Trump. I even got calls from Lebanon who were watching it live. The American election in different countries was carried live on international television. Al Arabiya, the Arabic news agency, had for 2 weeks ahead of the American election a counter running on its front page on their website, counting down to the American election. This is how big this election was. And thank God we have President Donald Trump in office to reverse the damage that the Democrats have done and take back our country.
Yes, in my comments, I would see people say, "We're from Australia. We sure hope Trump wins. We're from
Yes.
the United Kingdom. Please, God, let Trump win. We're from Canada. We need another Trump presidency." The ripple effect, and like you say,
Yeah.
this power vacuum. Biden wants to be seen as the party of kindness, but when you're kind, your enemies take advantage of you. And in the end, they're not really kind. They're just deceptively kind. And so I'm also grateful that Trump was able to win. President Biden has pardoned his son for all crimes for an 11-year period. He then commuted a Chinese spy with 40,000 inappropriate images of children, a man that cheated the government out of over $1 billion in taxes, a woman that committed $26 million in Medicare fraud, a judge that put kids and teenagers away and profited over $2 million, and then a whole bunch of prisoners that got out of prison early because of weird California COVID rules. What are your thoughts on Biden just forgiving the weirdest like criminals that we've ever seen?
Crooks take care of each other. That's my answer. You have a government of crooks for the last 4 years. And I know this is not a nice word to say. And I know, oh, we need to be nice to everybody. But we have had the most corrupt, lying, cheating, stealing, selling America's interests down the drain to the highest bidder. We have had a government headed by the Biden family enterprise, who basically sold our secrets to our enemies, who basically sold influence to the highest bidder, even when he was vice president under Obama. And so this is exactly why he was handing out pardons to everybody, trying to either get favors, wipe away favors, try to make sure to protect his neck, his family's neck, anybody in his family associated with these people. Because the Biden family enterprise made money from all different directions. They had companies within companies dealing with shady figures worldwide, and God knows what interest they have with the different people that they pardoned. What business interest, how much money they made off of different people and relationships. I think Biden was knowing all along he's going to pardon his son. I mean, look, father-son relationship. Of course, he knew he's going to pardon his son. It's a human nature. You know, you cannot go against the human nature. And that's exactly what he did. He has nothing else to lose. Look, he's not running again. His wife is not running. His son is not running. He has no interest whatsoever. And at this time, he served his family and he served his career. Notice how I said family and career, not the United States. His whole term in Congress was basically the Biden family enterprise. And at this time, he's almost at the end of his life. He's senile. At this time, it's just protect your neck, protect your behind, make sure your family is protected. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. Yep, it is. It's exactly what he did. But as you dig in, it's like, why would you forgive somebody with over 40,000 photos of little children? Why would you, someone that stole $1 billion from the IRA? I just like strange. I get the son thing, but some of them are a little bit strange. Brigitte, for over 3 years, Trump supporters were called conspiracy theorists for saying the J6 Capitol breach seemed like an inside job. It seemed like a psyop on the American people. It seemed like an FBI-led setup. Now we know all of that is true. Yet people like Representative Liz Chenney shamed the American people, lied to the American people, and then was part of the psyop in destroying evidence so that Trump can't defend himself. What was your reaction when you read this report last week that the FBI had paid confidential informants in the crowd?
You know, for people like us, Stephen, who live, eat, and breathe news because it's a part of our work and what we do, plus we love it. For us, it doesn't feel like work. We knew all along there, we could not trust the FBI. We could not trust any government agency because people like us and our listeners who are obviously very engaged in following up on the news, we knew our government was corrupt, whether it's the FBI, the CIA, the IRS, the DOJ. I mean, they were all corrupt. So when the American people lost trust in the FBI, we couldn't believe anything the FBI said to us. And we certainly did not believe Liz Chenney or anybody on that fake committee, the theater committee they put together against the J6ers. So we knew all along that the FBI had something to do with it. And I think it's just another aha moment where we can sit back since President Trump got elected and say, we knew it all along. We told you so. Finally, all this information coming out that we are just like the Biden laptop, obviously it was true. I mean, all this information coming out now that it's confirming what the left, like you said, called us conspiracy theorists for even bringing it up or talking about it. Now we're seeing all the government reports coming out and saying it is true. It was true. So I hope President Trump, it basically is a validation of the American people to realize we're not crazy, we're not stupid, we're not losing our minds. This actually was taking place. And finally, President Trump will be able to come in and do something about it. And I cannot wait for him to get into office and free these poor prisoners who have been rotting in jail in such inhumane conditions. I mean, the prisoners at Gitmo, Stephen, were treated better than our January 6ers. The prisoners at Gitmo, the worst of the worst terrorists that committed terrorist attacks against the United States, were treated better than patriotic citizens who were ushered by the police to walk into the Capitol just to take a look. Some of these people have never even seen the Capitol in their life, even though their tax dollars paid and pays the salaries of those people who work inside the Capitol. And yet they were treated that way. So I hope President Trump will go in, get the prisoners out, and then really start an investigation into all the cover-ups, whether from members of Congress like Liz Cheney and all the rest who were on that committee, or by the FBI, which I cannot wait for Kash Patel to get confirmed and get in there and start really exposing to the American people the rot, the dirt, the garbage, the lies that were swept under the carpets within the halls of our government agency while lying and cheating the American people. And clean house.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I'm very, very excited. And Trump does need to fulfill that mandate of cleaning up Washington, D.C.
And we're going to help him. We're going to help him, by the way. And he's going to need the help of the American people. This is not going to be an easy cakewalk. Everybody thinks, okay, great, President Trump got elected. Now we can sit back, sip our coffee or tea, and he's going to fix everything. A lot of people fell into that trap. And I mean the conservatives. When he first got elected in 2016, we cannot do that now. We need to make sure that President Trump gets his cabinet picks confirmed. And the way we're going to be able to help him do that is by pressuring members of Congress on both sides to push the confirmations. The president got elected by the American public. You need to give him the cabinet that he chooses to serve with him. And that's where we come in, and your listeners and our members come in. I encourage our listeners right now, go to actforamerica.org right now and sign up to get our action alerts and our emails. Because we're going to be sending you action alerts as these confirmations come down into the Senate, into Congress, because January 3rd, as soon as Congress reconvenes, they're going to start, even before the president is sworn in, they're going to start getting ready for these confirmations. We want to make sure that we, the American people, send emails to Congress. We're going to send you the names of the people of the committee who are making the decisions, an email pre-written for you, petitions that you're going to need to sign. We're going to give you phone numbers for people you need to call. We need to stand with President Trump to make sure that the Kash Patels get in, that Vivek and Elon with their Dodge and agency, and all the confirmation that President Trump wants to put forward. From Tulsi Gabbard to everybody else, we want them to get confirmed, and we need your help to take action on the Act Now campaigns we're going to be sending you. Go to actforamerica.org right now. Sign up to get our emails. It doesn't cost you anything. They are free of charge. If you want to become a member, please stand with us. I would be so grateful. But you don't even need to in order to take action. The most important thing is we need to stand with President Trump. The next months, January and February, are vital in us standing with the president to make sure all the right people get in position to start doing their work. Because, Stephen, we only have 18 months, that's it, to get the job that President Trump needs to get done before the next midterm election. Because in the midterm, we do not know if we're going to keep Congress or the Senate or what's going on, especially with Congress. Now that we have the House, the Senate, and the presidency, we've got 18 months only to get the job done.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell my audience is if you have ever felt like, wow, Stephen presents all of these problems, where are the solutions? Act for America is one of the solutions where you teach people, okay, we're going to do a pressure campaign on the Republicans. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Now we're going to switch gears. We're going to do a pressure campaign on the Democrats. If our voices get heard, they will make decisions. Otherwise, you and I We're waiting on the sidelines, and who slips in? The donors and the lobbyists. And
That's
then
right.
that's the America that we end up living in, is the lobbyist America.
That's right. And your voice as a constituent is far stronger than the lobbyists. The problem is elected officials do not hear enough from the people. We, the people, the Democrats are so good at that. The Democrats are always bombarding elected officials with phone calls. And they bombard the Republicans as much as the Democrats, and even more, because they know it's the Republicans that they need to beat on their backbone to kind of ease down. We need to do the same thing. And what we do with Act for America is we prepare an email that will go both to your Democrats and Republican elected officials. So you don't even have to call them if you don't want to. You can just send them an email. But every email, because of the internet right now, you know, in the old days, they used to say, oh, a letter is more important than emails. No, not today. Today, if you send a letter to a member of Congress, it has to fly to the middle of the country in Kansas to make sure it goes through the cleaning, to make sure there's no anthrax in the letters. And by the time your member of Congress gets your letter, it's 3 months. So your letter is not going directly to Congress. Right now, email is valued as much as the letter. So, and here's the importance of your voice. You know, they need to hear from tens of thousands of people. And here's how you can do it. Members of Congress, you know what I call, we have the Democrats, and you know exactly who they are, the Schumers, the Pelosi, the Dick Durbin, those who, you know, the AOC, the Ilhan Omar, you know exactly where they stand. You're not going to change their mind. And on the Republican side, you've got that Ted Cruz, the Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, the conservatives, you're not going to change their mind. But what we have in the middle is what I call the sincerely undecided. And those are the majority members of Congress who lick their finger, stick it up in the air, and see how the wind is blowing and vote accordingly. Those are the people we want to pressure. Every email you send is representative of 1,000 people. They tally one phone call or email, a representative of 1,000 voters. So just imagine how many, if we can get 100 people to take action, look what that means as far as members of Congress are concerned. And their number one job is getting reelected. So we want to make sure that they realize that their constituents are not going to reelect them unless they confirm the president's cabinets. That's why we want you engaged.
Yes, absolutely. Just today, Trump and his legal team announced a lawsuit against the Des Moines Register and pollster Ann Seltzer over an Iowa poll that they dropped just a couple of days before the election, showing that Kamala Harris was going to win by 3 points. They ended up being wrong by 16 points. Trump is alleging that she was bought off, that this was election interference. Why would she drop this? Do you think he is correct in that they were trying to make people think, oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't vote. He's going to lose one of those key states?
He is correct. Look, President Trump has been spot on from day one. Remember when he used to say, they are spying on my building and my offices in New York. They have wiretapped my offices, and everybody goes, he's crazy. It's Trump talking like this. President Trump has been spot on every single thing he talked about. And the more we get to know him, the more we realize we trust his word, because he's been honest with us from day one, while the left has lied to us from day one. And you know what? He is correct. It is election interference. They knew exactly what they were doing. This is exactly why on election day, you tell people, do not listen to the exit polls, because you know what? People tell you, oh, the exit poll are saying so-and-so lost. Well, a lot of people after 4 or 5 o'clock, they're getting off work. They're listening as they're driving home to talk radio saying, oh, the exit polls are saying, you know, so-and-so is going to lose. And they say, well, I'm not going to bother vote. My vote is not going to count. So why even go out of my way to vote? The Democrats know exactly what they're doing. And he is correct. Those type of games need to end. But what she did is far beyond an exit poll. This is trying to influence public opinion few days before an election. And that needs to stop, because right now we don't have reporters. We have political activists dressed in business attire, pretending to be reporters, business people, postal workers, and they are lying to the American people. They are activists working for a certain party where they are benefiting for putting out lies, and good for him. I'm so glad to see his win against ABC News, George Stephanopoulos, and all those lies. And I think that will teach the media a lesson. Don't do that, because now what he's doing is he is setting precedent. So for years from now, 8 years from now, when the left try to pull this type of shenanigans, there will be a precedent, and that will give people the ability to sue again.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Here's another big lie that if I was a Democrat, I would be absolutely furious over. Kamala Harris's own paid for internal polling showed she never had a path to victory, yet they raised $1 billion off of false information that she was going to win as the underdog. What do you think about her group just completely lying to their own donors and voters?
Well, they say you lay down with the dogs, you get up with their fleas. And the donors of the Democratic Party have laid for so long with crooks, people that lie, steal, cheat, do whatever they have to do, because in their mind, the end justifies the means. They have become the end justifies the means party. And when you get with that, is you get sucked into their lies, shenanigans, because if they are willing to lie to the rest of America, you are no better than the rest of America. Just because you've got $500 million and we're asking you for $1 million donation, you are no better. We don't think you're smarter than the other stupid people we think they are stupid. So we're willing to steal from you as much as we're willing to steal from the American people to use it to line our own pocket or to advance our own careers. This is basically the Democrat Party. This is how they have operated. I hope this last roundabout with Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party and the lies that the donors are realizing, we have been fed lies. We have been disrespected. We have been lied to. We have been underestimated. We have been walked all over by the Democratic Party. I hope this will make them pause 4 years from now when the Democrats come to them again asking for, we want to do this, and our internal polling is saying we do this and that. I hope that this will give the donors on the Democratic side the wisdom to say, show us the data. I'm not going to give you a dime until you show me the data that what you are saying is true. Because I can tell you one thing on the Republican side, when our people go to the donors, they say, look, here is the data. We believe if you give us another, whatever, 5,000, 10,000, I had people come to me and say, locally, on the local elections, here is the data, Brigitte. We believe if we can raise another $10,000, it will really make a difference on the local level. Because look, this is the data. This is the latest poll that we did. I look at it with my own eyes. So on the Republican side, they do this nationwide. Our donors know that we are getting the truth from people who come to us with the data asking for money. They don't do that on the Democratic side. On the Democratic side, they go and ask for money. And the Democrats, because they are so emotionally invested in hate, they call us haters, in hating Trump so much that they say, tell me how much you want. I'll give you whatever you want as long as you make sure you destroy so-and-so on the right. And you know what? They are getting the consequences of their hate, their emotions, their ill will, where they did not do due diligence before giving the money and they got burned.
Yeah. I wonder how many of, I think Kamala got like 67 million votes or something like, I wonder how many of those were for Kamala and how many of those were just against Trump. I really don't believe that many people liked her, and new polling out today from CNBC News shows that a large majority of Americans want Donald Trump to have the runway to carry out the MAGA agenda. Like, yeah. Wait a minute, this guy went from Hitler to, hey, let's give this guy the space and time to make America great again. It's just crazy how quickly things can change. Earlier today, President Trump was asked if he plans to preemptively strike Iran's nuclear facilities and enter war. President Trump responded, "Are you serious? That's a stupid question. Do you think that Washington, D.C., the military-industrial complex, the intelligence agency, do you think they're going to try to trip him into another Middle East war?"
No, you're not going to trip President Trump into another Middle East war. But even if the Iranian nuclear plants in Iran are going to be destroyed, they're not going to be destroyed by the United States. They're going to be destroyed by Israel. So regardless, that is a stupid question because we're not going to do that. Why would we do that when we have Israel who can justifiably say, I'm taking preemptive attack against Iran? And look, they have already done that. Remember, in the Iran deal, the Iran had to disclose all the Iranian nuclear manufacturing facilities, so we do not attack them. So Iran, being the cheater liars that they are, disclosed different facilities. Of course, they did not disclose all of them. So in the latest attack, when Israel attacked Iran as a response for Iran launching missiles at Israel, Israel attacked a nuclear Iranian base that Iran did not put on the list of the Iran deal. And nobody could say anything. Iran could not say, oh my gosh, they just attacked our nuclear facility, because Iran couldn't say anything because they never declared it. America couldn't get upset with Israel because that facility was not on the list on the Iran deal. And the Israelis were able to do it and do it under the radar. So Israel will take care of Iran. It's not going to be us. Israel will never allow Iran to finish a nuclear bomb. And look what they have already done, the damage to Iran through Syria, through Lebanon, through what's happening in Gaza. Iran's basically the octopus arms have been cut by Israel so far. And Iran has no way to defend itself right now. So Israel, they are at the mercy of Israel and not the other way around.
What are your thoughts on, we've had this horrible hurricane down in North Carolina. I see video on Twitter every day, people out, living in tents. FEMA's not helping. And yet then Biden says, we're going to send billions of dollars to Syria. We're going to send $1 billion to Africa. Alejandro Mayorkas saying, we literally don't have money to take care of Americans. Now they're going to send, now they're petitioning another $20 billion for Ukraine. At what point do people, even Democrats, go, we're not the party of kindness. We're the party of stealing Americans' tax money and giving it to foreign nations or endless wars? What are your thoughts on these recent stories out of Biden?
Well, the American people voted, including Democrats and a lot of independents who came to the Trump side exactly because of this, Stephen, because they want to put America first. They are watching what happened to the hurricane victims in North Carolina. And the news that FEMA came out, that we found out about FEMA, that don't support anybody that's got a Trump sign in front of their home. This is not the country we want to live in. You know what? Even some Democrats who felt sorry watching the images of people who are hurting, who are on the street, said, you know what? I think this is really crossing a line. We really do need to take care of our own people before we send money to Lebanon, before we send money to Syria, before we pledge money to the Taliban, before we send money to Ukraine. So a lot of people are on the side of President Trump right now. And again, and I think a lot of it also is people watching all the illegal migrants who are now sitting at fancy hotels in Washington and New York City at $3,000 a night hotel room, while our own American citizens who pay their taxes are sleeping in tents in North Carolina. I think that was the nail in the coffin. So a lot of Americans are supportive of the Trump agenda. And good for him. I think it's a crying shame that Biden and his lame duck session right now is pledging money to this or that. They shouldn't do that. They are on their way out. The American people have spoken. Trump is coming into office January 20th, and I hope he puts a stop. I don't want to rebuild Syria. If Syria is in rumble, let them live with the consequences of their own action or inaction. It's not my children's problem that their tax money is used to go build houses in Africa or in Syria or in Gaza or in Lebanon or in any other hellhole country in the world. Their money should go to build schools in America, fix bridges in America, take care of Americans. And I think that's exactly what President Trump is going to do. And that's why we need to do everything we can to support him. Like I said, we've got 18 months, not 4 years, 18 months to make sure President Trump's agenda gets implemented.
Okay. Well, and again, I believe your organization is one of the best ways to not only have a voice, but to amplify our voice. There's power in numbers. So tell my audience one more time how they can sign up, how they can be political activists by getting their voice heard by members of Congress.
People can go to actforamerica.org, Act for America. And I named the organization Act for America. Not think about America, not hope for America, not wish for America, not pray for America. You can hope and wish and pray, and you should. But without action, nothing happens. Go to actforamerica.org right now. Sign up to get our emails and action alerts. We notify you about bills coming down for a vote. We are an action organization. That's all we do. You want to be active and engaged? You do not need to show up to a meeting, listen to a speaker, take time out of your time to go sit in some meeting. You could literally take action sitting in your pajamas, 7 a.m. in the morning, sipping your cup of coffee in front of your computer or on your iPhone. Everybody has an iPhone. It's sitting right here next to me, even when I'm doing an interview. So we give you ways to take action. Stand with us, support us. If you are able to become a member, stand with us financially. Become a proud member of Act for America, and let's take our country back. And by the way, Stephen, Act for America has been able to pass 270 bills on the federal level and the state level to protect America and reverse the damage that the Democrats have done. We need you by our side. Become a keyboard activist, and let's take our country back.
Oh man, that's amazing. Over 200. Well, you guys got me fired up. I have definitely been raising my voice more and now trying to get my audience to do the same thing. I want to make America great again, safe again, healthy again, prosperous again. So much. I'm just so optimistic for the future. Brigitte, I want to thank you so much for all that you do. You are just an absolute treasure for our country. You're doing so much good. And most people don't know about it, which is why I wanted to have you on. So I'm going to put actforamerica.org down below so people can go there. And I want to thank you for coming on. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, my friend. You too. And if I don't speak with you or your audience before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.